Hello and welcome to Ex-Witness Awake. I'm your host, Jonathan. Hope that you're doing well today. I bet you thought I was gone for good. No, I said I was going to keep the channel alive. It's been kind of slow, obviously, but here's proof that I'm back. Yeah, I've been doing my creative stuff, and I decided that if I did find something that I could talk about that's important, new, timely, that I would do that. And it just so happens that's the time now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our program.
So, what are we talking about? Well, I've been checking Reddit now and again. I get notifications for that, for the XJW subreddit. And turns out there's a rumor that as of probably by the time you've seen this, that there will be a new governing body update. And in that update, supposedly, they're going to allow higher education, as in they're going to recommend that people don't poo-poo, those who choose to go to college or university.
We're going to talk about secular education, and we'll be speaking primarily to young ones and their parents, although we all can benefit from this information. Many young people are asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? Of course, the best career is a life in full-time service. Even so, full-time servants need to support themselves financially. In some places, it's possible to earn a decent living without getting further education. In other lands, additional education is required if you hope to find employment that has reasonable hours and that pays fairly well. In such cases, a brother or sister may wonder, should I get additional education? If so, what type? Now, what do we mean by additional education? This refers to any secular education or training beyond the basic education provided by the government. It includes courses offered by universities, colleges, apprenticeships, trade schools, technical schools, vocational training, short courses, and continuing education. Is it appropriate for Christians to pursue additional education? With this update, we'd like to clarify our understanding. While there are dangers involved in pursuing certain forms of education, basically, whether to obtain additional education or not is a matter for personal decision.
As of this recording, it's 2 a.m. or something, early Friday morning, so I don't have the specifics yet, but I thought I'd talk about it and get ahead of the game. So, allowing education, higher education, my thoughts on that, it's about time. It's something that they should have allowed from the beginning, people to get an education, because in order to get certain types of employment, certain type of career, you have to have a degree. Anybody who has been around from years ago, the 80s, the 90s, what have you, you probably had a different idea in mind when it comes to what you wanted to do with your life. But you ended up just getting a job, maybe not even a really good paying job. You just got what you could take so that you could pursue spiritual pursuits, spiritual interests, to put Jehovah first and to put the organization first, rather than making sure that you could support yourself without struggling, that you could have the type of career that would be fulfilling to you and would pay well, presumably. You gave all that up. In the comments, go ahead and tell me what you would have done had they not discouraged higher education back then. Personally, I probably would have been an architect or in some sort of an animator or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I wanted to do something artistic in any case. And both of those things would have required training that I would have had to get at some sort of college course or university course. And I didn't do that. So here I am at a job where I clean. It is a living, and I want to say pays the bills, but it's a living. But it's not what I would have chose had things been different. So I don't know what exactly they're going to say in this broadcast Do know what their position has been traditionally when it comes to higher education. So let's take a little trip down memory lane and see what they have always traditionally said about higher education.
We will not need doctors or lawyers after Armageddon, but we will need carpenters and plumbers and similar construction trades.
Perhaps we left promising careers. Perhaps we left fame. Perhaps we gave up higher education, or whatever it may be. Why are we so convinced that full-time service will lead you young ones to a wonderful life? Well, it's because that's the decision that so many of us made when we were young. Do you remember that 18-year-old young brother who was trying to decide which path to take? Well, that was me some years ago. I'm so glad that with the help of Jehovah and my parents and other mature friends in the congregation, I made the decision, just like so many other brothers and sisters around the world, to turn down that scholarship, to give up university, and go directly into the full-time service.
Such university education is what is meant when the term higher education is used. It further stated, on the other hand, there are technical and vocational schools offering short-term courses that result in a certificate or diploma in some trade or service. We realize educational systems vary from place to place. In some countries, higher education is provided by the government, free of charge. However, the cost of obtaining university training is not our primary concern. It is the potential for spiritual harm that has moved us to provide the cautions we have shared in the past. Ultimately, it is the decision of the parents as to the amount of secular education they feel is necessary for a child to later care for a family of his own. As parents, we would be remiss if we did not encourage our child to pursue a skill or trade that would enable him to start off a marriage successfully. Having said that, it does not change the fact that all too often, our young people have met with spiritual disaster, especially after leaving home and living on a university campus.
It's important that we consider the conscience of the congregation as well as the elder body. Brother Brown, I know this can't be easy for you, and it's not easy for us either. Please be assured that we love you, and we only want what's best for you and your family. Remember, you're among friends here, so please feel free to express yourself and to answer any questions that your fellow elders may have. Brothers, we are obligated to put the interests of the congregation first.
Brothers, with all due respect, I don't agree with you that the congregation is disturbed about my or my family's situation. I've been in the congregation for 20 years. I know the publishers very well, and I'm sure no one is disturbed about my daughter's pursuing higher education. As far as my younger daughter is concerned, she was judicially reproved, but it wasn't announced to the congregation, so she's repentant. And no one has approached me expressing that they're disturbed about me supporting my daughters seeking higher education, trying to better themselves. It's not like they're leaving the truth.
Brother Brown, thank you for expressing how you feel. Let's give your fellow elders an opportunity to express their observations or concerns. Brothers, are there any comments or questions that you have for Brother Brown? Brother Anderson, please.
Brother Brown, it is true. Some of the congregation have been negatively affected. They've been disturbed by the example of your daughters pursuing higher education.
What would be the reason why they would now say it's okay? Not knowing what, as of, like I said, as of this recording, not knowing what they're going to say, but based on this rumor, why would they say, well, you know what, it's okay, it's a conscience matter, and we should not have anything to say about that as long as they're still going to meetings and still participating in the ministry, you know, checking the box or whatever? Why would they say that now? Well, I have some theories on that. Because Jehovah's Witnesses are generally considered on the poorer end, it's not really like it doesn't really draw people in when they think they're going to be excluded from that. You know, of the things that Jehovah's Witnesses are known for, It has been traditionally the ministry, which is less of that now. But, no blood transfusions, no birthdays, and no college. And it's a bit weird. And I think that the Jehovah's Witnesses want to be a little more mainstream, and they don't want to be seen as such weirdos.
Please know that we love you all very much.
They want to seem a little more like normal so that people will be a little more attracted to it. And that's one way that's easy to do, because people, some Jehovah's Witnesses do go to college and university. It's a lot of the times the ones that have the money. There's some wealthy Jehovah's Witnesses, they do exist. And I'm sure that their kids will go to school and it's not an issue. Because when you have money in the organization, things tend to be a little bit different too. They treat you a little differently. You can kind of get away with certain things that you can't if you're one of the poors. I was definitely one of the poors. Yeah, so there's that. Also,
this is the part I'm going to edit out because I don't remember what I was going to say.
Also, it's been kind of a dumb business model when you rely on money from, the people that are in your organization, but they don't really have any money. So if you can have more rich people, or at least more financially stable people because they have an education and they have some money to give, well, your coffers are going to get filled up a little easier than trying to squeeze a couple of bucks out of some poor people. So that's another consideration. And third, what they have to deal with is legal issues when it comes to real estate law and when it comes to criminal law, because they have a lot of instances where people are being sued because they do the things they're not supposed to do, and it looks bad on the organization. And if you remember, years ago, they sent someone to university to become a lawyer. And it's this guy. Off the top of my dome, I don't remember his name.
Philip Brumley.
He was actually sanctioned about a year ago, I think, having to do with submitting false information to the court and trying to make them out like they were doing something that they weren't doing. He got in trouble and he ended up owing a lot of money. Having to rely on lawyers who are not Jehovah's Witnesses isn't ideal, but having a bunch who are Jehovah's Witnesses is going to help them. They're going to be loyal to the organization, and they're going to give them free representation, presumably, because, they want favor with the governing body, whereas a worldly lawyer is going to charge them through the nose, so they save money that way. And if they don't have to send you to university to get your law degree, and your parents are going to be willing to fork out that money, that's a win-win for them. So it's going to be interesting to see how the brothers and sisters are going to react to this news. Are they going to be like, oh, yay, that's cool, I can go to school now? Or are they going to kind of scratch their head and go, why the change? Because, whatever governing body member gives that update,
Hello, everyone.
they always find a way that they try to explain it and make it sound like, oh, yeah, that always makes sense. They always have a way of even though they've discouraged something or outright said, can't do this, and then they just do a 180 and suddenly it's okay, they just say, well, we didn't know, we gave some reflection, and the governing body has decided blah, 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 blah. So maybe that sounds good on paper for them, but it doesn't always set right with the people who hear it. Some will just accept whatever the brother has to say. Well, there's going to be a few who are going to kind of scratch their head and go, but you said this before. Starts a little cognitive dissonance going on in their mind about, but last week this, now this. So it will be interesting to see how this pans out over time, whether some are going to be like, wait a minute, come on. Because honestly, some people are going to look back and go, I wasted all these years of my life doing this menial job, working at a grocery store, or cleaning an office, or cleaning houses, or whatever, doing lawn care, something they were able to do because it was easy to get going, but it wasn't really what they wanted to do with their life. Honestly, I think a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses have that situation to where their life isn't really ideal. It's what they were born in. It's what they were born into, or they were at a bad time in their life and someone knocked on their door, or or sat next to them at a bus stop and they were just in the right frame of mind to be susceptible to manipulation, and they became a Jehovah's Witness, and that's just what their life became. But the neat thing about life is it may be relatively short, but it's never too late to change, because even a short amount of time living free and living the way that you've determined is the best course for yourself is a lot better than being forced to do things that you don't want to do, that maybe deep down you think, I don't agree with that. So better to be free. And so, like I said, I don't know exactly what the brother's going to have to say. So this is going to be the point where I have downloaded it and I have inserted it in here. And if I have some thoughts, if after watching that I determine that everything I said was off the wall, I'll insert something else to correct it, to make this video make sense. What can you do, if you're trying to stay on top of things? You just kind of have to roll with it. So anyway, thank you for watching. I don't know when I'm going to post again, but like I said, eventually I will post again. I would encourage you, if you're watching this video and you like stories, come on over to my other channel. Actually, I have a couple of channels. So there's the Apostate Coalition channel, which I haven't been participating much in, but I'm happy to say that there is a regular program there with Ryan and Dr. Time Waster, and they do a great job every week. They do a great job with their discussions, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And also my story channel, so it's the Telltale's Universe, Tale Teller's Universe. If I say too fast, you come out. Anyway, where I write stories and produce little AI films. Or sometimes it's just me reading, or it just depends on what the mood strikes me. But that's what I've been mostly doing with my spare time, is making stories, because I like to be creative, and there is not too many people there. So, hey, if you folks would come over there, I would greatly appreciate it. Come check it out. It's mostly like horror and sci-fi and comedy kind of stuff. I think you'll like it. So come over and check it out. So, yeah, I guess that's it. So thank you and have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Oh yeah, I have a clicker. Is this working?
Please like and subscribe, everybody.
Bye.